So, are you ready to see another method of integration? Yes, that's what inverse trig substitution is all about. And if you're wondering what do these trig identities have to do with it, the answer is pretty much everything. In fact, the inverse trig method of substitution is just, in a way, a variation on the method of change of variable or substitution, except that there is a little twist to it. Okay? Now, before we get into the twist and see one example of how it works and so on, let me know that this method really has more to do with practice and when doing it than with theory. Okay, so I'm going to show you, just tell you very quickly what it is that the method entails, show you one example and walk you through every one of the steps of that example, which will be the steps you'll see in each one of the other situations in which you need the method, and then it's off to the races. You'll have to practice. We'll practice in class, you'll practice on your own, and we'll discover all the many different variants and situations that can occur. Now, notice one thing about all these three identities. By the way, these are the basic three Pythagorean identities of trigonometry, and I hope you remember them because they're the basic ones. Notice as all three of them have one thing in common, namely, in each one of these equations, one term is equal to the difference or the sum of two terms. Well, not only that, but also of the two terms that are being added or subtracted, one is made up of a trig function, the other one is a constant. In fact, is number 1. Okay. Now, this is going to be the key to the use of the method, because what it does, it allows us to deal with integrands that involve forms that look like one of these three that you see here. Okay? And of course, we're talking about situations where the integrand involves one of those forms and integration by substitution doesn't work, and probably not even integration by parts. Okay. So what we're going to do now, as I said, we're going to show you how these three identities are applied in, or actually how one of these three identities is applied in the corresponding situation. By the way, notice that each of the identity is applied in the situation that is listed just below it. I'm going to show you just the first one. The other two work exactly the same, except that again, the names of the functions involved are going to be a little bit different. So let's go with example.